Hello, Mariana.
Hi, Artiom, and hi, everyone. You're here for another Q&A with OK Student. As you know, I'm Mariana, Head of Advisors, and I'm here with our fantastic manager for Lithuania. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, guys. My name is Artiom. I'm managing Lithuania this year. So today we'll have an interesting talk about EU students coming to the UK, what you guys need to be aware of, what is the current plan of the UK government for the upcoming year, and how you will guys get on with the student financing, all the registrations, health things, and current science, and so on.
Exactly. Lots to cover in this hour, man. So basically, the main change we're facing this year for EU students is the end of student finance, right? Where no students from 2021 onwards are going to be able to get financing for their tuition fees. There's a lot still up in the air. And I mean, this is going to be a huge hit for all of the European students coming to study in the UK after this, or that we're planning to study in the UK after 2021. How have you been feeling about this, Artiom?
I was a bit upset because this actually means an end for a fantastic generation of EU students who were able to go to the UK quite freely, to study there, to have access to student financing, to be able to afford the university costs, to have a fantastic student life, to have I'd say opportunities after university. So now it's kind of going to end in a way, unless obviously it's not going to end for those people who are still able to afford a full price of university fees, which will now be the same as for international students, unless for those who will actually come to the UK before the 31st of December 2020, which we can discuss later. So yeah, I was a bit upset actually, and but I guess there will also be other opportunities and options for guys to study somewhere else in the other countries, to receive great education and to experience a unique student life experience.
Exactly. And we don't really know yet either how universities are going to react to this, because so many of our partner universities have so many European students. And we've heard a couple of universities talk about the possibilities of scholarships for European students to kind of offset the cost of tuition fees as well. Because I mean, it is problematic for students, and it's also super problematic for these universities, right?
Yeah. It's also problematic even for the teaching staff as well, because there are so many of them who actually depend on the European financing to fund their researches and their PhDs as well. So it's going to be a massive hit for professors, for academics, and for students at the same time, because I mean, UK universities, they have, obviously they were expanding themselves, but certain percentage of that expansion was actually provided, I mean, funding wise, was provided by the EU. So now this will all gone, and it will be interesting to see actually how many universities will be able to survive after this.
Exactly, because we saw the article, right, where at least 30 universities are at risk of closure, and they haven't said which, but I think that it's the ones that are definitely more dependent on this funding, or more dependent on European students and tuition fee funding for these students. And I think you said something that's really right there, where it's like research is going to be so heavily impacted, especially anything that is arts and humanities or social sciences, because STEM, or science and technology, I mean, it's very dependent on private funding. So that's kind of going to be okay. But arts and humanities and social sciences are going to get hit severely.
Yes, but from the other side also, if we think about it, I think there is a clear direction around the world that STEM is becoming more and more popular and more the best word would be to say necessary for the society. So I have read the article from the BBC about Australia the other day, and basically what they did, they have increased costs, the tuition fees for social sciences, for social subjects, but at the same time, they have actually cut the costs for STEM courses. So my opinion is that actually UK may technically follow the same route. So in this case, students will still have options of studying there. And also my view on this is that maybe companies will start to attract individuals to their, basically to apply to certain courses with the intention that they will join their companies after the graduation. Because, for instance, like those who intended to study like a maritime navigation or maritime engineering, before applying to the university, they should have actually applied to some companies, which will then fund their studies and also provide them with the scholarships as well as work experience throughout the studies. So in theory, STEM subjects may offer something similar to those talented individuals. And I guess the way it will be now, it would be those who actually want to study in the UK, they will have to prove that they're actually extremely talented and they are able to produce something really good for the society and for the businesses after the graduation. So, I mean, to those who are hardworking, there will also be an option.
Exactly.
And hopefully, guys.
Exactly. And I think you mentioned there are a couple of things that I want to get into. And mainly it's like what you just said about maritime engineering. It's like we've seen companies more and more bet on STEM subjects. So, for example, Coventry with, I think it's automotive engineering. They have Land Rover and Ferrari. It's Land Rover and Rolls-Royce, sorry, who participate actively in creating that course to make sure that that course actually has what they need to then get the students in for employment. So these are definitely options that are coming in. And to be fair, I disagree a bit on what you said about student social sciences and arts and humanities, mainly because I'm social sciences. So I always think that this is something really... You can't say things about social sciences with me on a call. But what I was going to say is potentially there's going to be opportunities from people, especially from humanities, because businesses are also more and more looking at these people to hire. So potentially some of the academic staff will be used to teach things like ethics or things around, especially ethics, I think, around some STEM subjects, which starts to be more and more relevant as well. I mean, we can't really do AI without ethics.
That's true.
So potentially there's going to be more and more opportunities in STEM for all of us, both social sciences, arts and humanities, and STEM.
Yeah, we need to keep our fingers crossed for this. But yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? How they will manage it. And actually, next year will show which universities will survive in the UK. And this may not necessarily be a bad thing because I mean, I was doing some research in terms of how graduates progress after after graduation, and there's a clear percentage of those who do not go far after attending certain universities. So possibly they will just they will just not survive. I mean, those universities who do not produce strong graduates. So again, this is why people have to consult agencies like OK Student, because then we can give them some insight into what you can actually achieve after attending certain universities.
Exactly, because that really depends on graduate employment right after courses, and that's something that most universities really take into account when putting forward their information from us as their employability factors. So how many graduates are in employment and further study 6 months after their course. And I think that's also relevant for us to be able to see how many of those students are actually in employment in their fields and which are actually in further study, because I feel like these are very different categories of students as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think I'm not really happy about universities who have, you know, those like we have 100% of people like in further studies or in employment after graduation, but they do not actually say whether, you know, people are working, as you just said, basically doing what they were taught to do during their course. And also, you know, those who go to further studies in the UK, unless they want to become academics or work in STEM industries, or like, I don't know, professional training like lawyers, for example, they normally do not go to do postgrad courses. So, you know, those universities who actually say, you know, we have 100%, it might not necessarily mean that, you know, people are getting the best offers about the employment or something else. So if they distinguish it, this will make actually more sense. And I think people will see more clear picture of what they can expect after graduation.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's definitely why people should come and talk to us about these things. It's exactly to see if their choice is actually a good one. I think placements are really relevant there as well. It's like universities who offer placements for all courses are definitely the ones that have the highest graduate employment, exactly because they're already giving work experience to students during their entire course.
Yeah, exactly. This is a really important thing, and actually, it's quite interesting how the job market will react to this within the next 2 years. Because like now, companies are still like, I don't know, even during COVID, like companies are still employing. Even in London, they employ staff actually to work from home. So nothing has been changed, and I mean, at least London, majority of offices are not coming back to work up until January 2021. Which some have already extended their non-return up to June 2021. But they're still working, you know, they're still employing people. Obviously, there will still be placements available for guys to take and to do. But I think that because of Brexit, obviously, UK economy will actually struggle, as well as because of the COVID. And many companies may leave the market. So again, this will have an effect for students. However, when someone is going away, someone is entering. So there will always be the options for the guys who actually want to do something.
Exactly. I was just reading through an article actually that someone's written about taking a marketing entrepreneurship, a marketing internship during COVID, and their reflections on it were fantastic, and the way that they've thought about how many soft skills they've gained, because this is also about soft skills, us being able to be online and to be able to be having lectures online and all of this thing. This also adds to the soft skills that both these students have and the professors have, because it's very different from teaching in a room full of students to teaching online, right? It's completely different skills. Hi, Michaela. Yeah. Very nice to see you here. I was just about to say, guys, thank you everyone who's watching us today. We have a question here from Lokash that we should take a look at about the universities and how they're delivering their teaching. And we have Michaela online from University of Derby. If I could, I would put you on this stream for you to talk about how our University of Derby is dealing with this. But I think most universities, from our knowledge, are going into blended teaching. Do you want to talk a bit about this, Artiom?
About this mix of online and face-to-face. Yeah, it was actually quite a massive thing for many of our applicants, because people were worried, you know, if they will be having just online teaching, whether then they should just stay back home and come to the UK once the teaching will be resumed, which is a fair point for many guys, because, you know, obviously, you know, in theory, you can save some money on accommodation costs and so on. And like by now, I think the majority of the universities have already confirmed that some of the like big lectures will take place online, just to avoid those massive gatherings of people. But my understanding is that the seminars will still be face-to-face, and this is the most important part of the education process in the UK, because I mean, from what I remember from my studies, first 2 weeks people go to lectures, but then people just don't go to lectures. They just watch everything online because
Artiom, not all students are like you and me.
Well, it's the reality, isn't it? Like, maybe it wasn't like everyone wasn't going to lectures, but if you had 100% at the start attendance, and then attendance drops like to 30%. I mean, out of the whole pool of people who were in the lecture theater Thursday. And obviously, when you can access lectures online, you can watch them whenever you have time or whenever you want to. So it's pretty simple. And obviously, you have to go to seminars because seminars normally are not recorded. So you will have to attend them, to make sure that you actually go, because otherwise you will miss up on so many important points. When it comes to this year as well, something important to mention, guys actually have to go to the UK. As I said in the start of the stream, they have to be in the UK before the 31st of December, so they will have to apply for a pre-settled status in order to make sure they still have the same rights after the 1st of January 2021. So this is quite an interesting point.
Did you put your glasses on to do a smart point?
To read the question, basically, the one Lokesh was asking.
So it's any clarity on how universities will be delivering their teaching online, offline, or mixed? And he's also commented that Michaela could leave her thoughts about teaching in the comments section, which would be actually really interesting to have your thoughts on this, Michaela, and how you see this going in the future for University of Derby and for other universities in the UK. I definitely think that it's true that we have a little drop-off of students in the beginning of the year midway through the year compared to the beginning of the year as in regards to lectures. But there is one thing that a lot of people, I see very little people talking about, and it's about accessibility. Sorry, I had a bit of so accessibility. My sister, for example, she's just finished her undergraduate degree here in Portugal, and she has commented with me that she has had the best grades ever since the start of COVID, mainly because she has a bit of anxiety. So what happens is, because she didn't have to actually go to class, because she didn't have to go there physically, that actually improved her attendance, because she wouldn't have the anxiety of having to be in a classroom, of having to deal with people, of having to drive to university, all of this. And this might actually help some students. I can say that if I had access to my lectures during university online, I would have attended so many more, exactly because of incompatibility of schedules, for example, or just being too tired to attend classes, or any of this kind of gets, so it helps us as well as hinder us, because at the same time where you have good accessibility on one hand, you also have bad accessibility on the other, where if students stay home, they might not have that good of an internet connection. So we've seen this with a few of our applicants, where they're really struggling to finish their applications or to come to the UK because they're struggling with internet access. So I think it's kind of a double-edged sword here, right? I want to say Michaela, in the meanwhile, has put that they're doing blended learning at Derby with online lectures and dedicated on-campus tutorials. Facilities such as textile studios will be open by having bookable slots. So this is another thing that's really important to talk about. It's the practical courses. Thank you so much, Michaela, for that clarification as well about University of Derby. And I think practical courses are definitely really important because students really need access to these facilities. When I was studying, I needed access to cameras, to the media stores, to the studios. And it's definitely really good that University of Derby is doing bookable slots for these facilities. Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
Did you did a non-practical course, right, when you were studying?
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because with law, at least in Nottingham Trent University, we had the option of working in a legal advice center. So it was this kind of like a real life practice, which we could have experienced during the course. And my understanding is that even despite COVID-19, the legal advice center is still going to work and going to help the Nottinghamshire community with their issues. So I do not see whether it will have a big effect. But I mean, obviously, for at least like law studies, you do not need to do anything practical, at least with your hands. So in this case, it's fine. But I mean, for guys who have practical workshops as part of their courses, I mean, it is in the interest of universities to make sure they provide them with the facilities where they can actually practice. So I'm sure it would not have any effect really. It's it's the same like with gyms. For example, if you go to the gym now in Canary Wharf, for example, you will have those like each, for example, running boats separated from each other. So you just have as little contact with people as possible, and factories still work. So yeah, I mean, guys don't really have to worry about it. Maybe they have to wear masks, but this is, I think, compulsory now around the world. Plus, actually, the UK has ordered a vaccine from COVID. So I'm pretty sure that by the end of this year, at least, they will have the population vaccinated. And I'm pretty sure that this pandemic should stop, at least in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. That's the hope for it. And I think Michaela is just giving us great knowledge here. We're saying, I even heard from a small group of students looking to stay in private accommodation that they were going to set up a fashion studio in their apartment. Michaela, I want to visit that fashion studio. That is amazing that they can do that. And I think it's definitely really good for people to also just kind of get used to working on their own, right? Because that in itself is a transferable skill. To try to figure out how to put together a fashion studio in your own apartment. This is something that you can put on your CV. If you're studying photography, film, it's like how to set up a green screen and how to set up a studio in your own apartment, how to set up lighting, all of this. And I'm sure that these universities are also really, really looking forward to helping you setting up your own studios at home, especially if your course depends on practicality. Thank you, Michaela.
Yeah, and actually, I think as well that some of the students will actually benefit from this because, obviously, if guys will not have access to certain softwares at the universities, universities then will have to make sure that they give access to people from their own computers. So I'm pretty sure they will be able to access, lots of software for free from their PCs, and I'm pretty sure they can even maybe able to keep it for some time after.
Yeah, so for example, with things like Adobe Creative Suite, which is mainly the type of software, most universities offer that software to students during the 3 years of their course, and then the subscription expires basically. So it's a university-wide subscription. I think that with things like 3ds Max, that also happens. Things like I forgot the name of the illustration one, but yeah, I think that all of them have the 3-year subscription for students. No, that's the other one. Yeah, but that's the other one. I wanted the creator one, or whatever the name is. That actually is like for drawing on like tablets and things. And I forgot about it because I'm learning it now, and I'm just like completely over it. Just, like my mind is blown. Shall we talk a bit about pre-settled status then?
Yeah, actually, this is quite an important point. And this is why I have said in the start that, guys need to make sure that they actually are physically present in the UK before the 31st of December. But obviously, it doesn't mean they have to come on the 31st of December. They, need to make sure they're in the UK well before that. Basically, what it is, it's when they will come to the UK, they will must to register with the migration office, with the Home Office for the UK, and to apply for a pre-settled status. So they will have to send them through the app there is the Gov UK EU settlement scheme app, which is available for both Androids and Apple products. And
yeah, but you need to make sure that your phone has NFC, so near field communication is necessary to operate the EU exit app.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether guys are still using those older phones. Maybe
come on, my phone that got dropped in a river is brand new and didn't have NFC.
Seriously?
Yeah, like wow. Xiaomi phones don't have them normally.
Okay, well, I'm sorry then. Anyway, so yeah, guys need to make sure they're buying Samsungs or iPhones before coming to the UK as well. This is an additional cost alongside books and other stuff. So yeah, basically they will just need to register, to send their student letter, which they can get from the university. And I'm actually pretty sure that admissions will inform guys as well that during the admissions process in the first week, that those who are from the EU who do not have a pre-settled status yet must, take letters confirming their student status and obviously send them to Home Office. And then they will be granted the pre-settled status unless they have done something bad before in the UK. Yeah, and it should be fine. And yes, and in this case, they're safe for the next 5 years. Which means that they can freely leave the UK, freely come to the UK, freely travel around the UK, have access to NHS, have access to student loans, have access to home fees and everything else. They can even work, without any restrictions.
Yeah, it's definitely really important. Sorry.
Yeah, and I have also read that those who do not comply with this obligation to register for a pre-settled status, in theory, if you have been admitted to the university in September, in theory, you will have time up until 30th of June 2021, if you're still in the UK, to apply for this pre-settled status. However, it's not clear yet how it will work if it happens that you leave the UK and then you're coming back after 1st of January 2021. So in this case, there is a risk that people, may actually have problems with their statuses. So it's always better, to apply for it before.
Yeah, definitely. So that's exactly what Michaela is saying here on one of her comments, where it's really important to encourage all new EU students to apply for the EU settled status. It's really easy to do, and then best to do it as soon as possible. And yeah, preferably not the week before the leave for Christmas break, because that's going to make the entire system just kind of override. And yeah, don't leave it till the last minute, guys, basically. And I think it's quite easy, like the way that, because I'm still wondering if I'm going to do pre-settled status or not. But basically, what I've heard is that I can do it with my phone bill. So you need to prove your address in some way, and your phone bill is enough to prove your address. So it's quite good. So most universities have a welfare team that can assist with this process. And at Derby, they'll be holding drop-in sessions with our visa officer exactly for this. So this is amazing information, Michaela. Thank you so much. And I think it's really important for students to know that it's fine to come to the UK. Like, you're still very welcome here. You're still very welcome as a student, as a future worker, as all of these things. As long as you have your pre-settled status, nothing's going to change for you. So definitely do that as soon as you arrive in the country. Don't leave it till last minute. And if you need help, consult your university, or you can always contact us, okstudent@info@okstudent.co.uk, or through your advisor. So you'll have people to help you definitely with this process.
Yeah, and also just really quickly, just also, guys, make sure before you come to the UK for the first time, you have a valid medical insurance. This could be either the EU health card which should be fine, but as long as it's valid. Or alternatively, you can have a private medical insurance, because I have heard that some of the guys have had problems with obtaining pre-settled status, just because they did not have a valid medical insurance, which you should have in case you're in the UK. Obviously, you would have one automatically once you obtain pre-settled status, because NHS will be free for you. But just before you have it, just make sure you're sorted in this case. And again, if you need any help with that, you can always actually email universities' welfare teams, and they will, be able to provide you with the proper advice of what you actually need before coming to the UK.
Yeah, I think it's important
also,
for us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just really quickly. There is also a specific form as well for people to sign 48 hours before they intend to come to the UK. It's available on the Gov.uk website. And I think we can publish this information on our Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, it's basically a form which every entrant to the UK must fill in 48 hours before coming to the UK, just to let the government know where they will be staying, for quarantines and everything else. And just, make sure you do this, because if you don't, you may have problems in the airport with passing through the security checks, and your experience will not be as smooth as you may have wanted it to be.
I was just about to say, but I'm confirming the information, where I do think we have published an article recently on our Medium. So that's medium.com/OK_student about coming to the UK, and an article on moving to the UK. So if you want to check out our Medium, definitely do, so that we can, so that you can get to know all of these things that you need to do before actually arriving in the UK. All of the measurements are different depending on country, and the policies being established are different depending on country. So this 48 hours form is one thing. Like in Portugal, you need to fill in a form upon arrival, saying all of your contacts and making sure that they know your address and everything. So it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a really interesting year as well. Because, for example, the students that have had to do graduation this year, they had a unique graduation. They had a fully online graduation, which is quite unique for the general student life, right? And now this year, universities are doing all of the things that they used to do in person online. So this will definitely be a unique experience for everyone coming in.
Oh yeah, definitely, like a very first in life, I would say. But actually, I feel quite sorry for guys who had the graduation online, because I still feel, this is something you wanted to have in real person. At least I would be a bit upset, even though I didn't want to go to my graduation. I only went because my parents came. But it's
so
just
you
this
didn't
fact,
want to go, but
yeah. It's just those things when you have the opportunity and you don't take it. But for those guys that they just didn't have an opportunity at all. So this
it's human nature. It's human nature.
Yeah,
Even if you don't want it, and they say you can't have it, suddenly you want it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it is.
Yeah, but at the same time, it did create a lot of new things, and I've seen people do such creative things with their graduation this year. I mean, on the internet and TikTok especially are covered with just videos of people doing graduations at home, which have been amazing, like hiring people and having their family serve as a catering team and things like this, and having these amazing outfits that they've put together and posted on the internet. So I think definitely it has increased our creativity, and it has increased our ability to connect through all of these virtual channels as well.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be a really interesting year.
Yeah, but even for Welcome Week, I think it should be okay for guys. So they will still have freshers. They will still go out. They will still, meet each other. It shouldn't be a massive issue, because that's what people are doing now. I mean, in London, bars are still full. People are going out. They're just wearing, obviously protective equipment, but it may not necessarily be a bad thing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I heard actually Martin and I were commenting this the other day where he was saying that he's been going out to restaurants and bars, but all the bars basically ask for your contact details when you go in. So it's so interesting that they have this like track and trace system really well done, and that it's really actually safe as long as you keep to the measures. So as long as you wear a mask, as long as you wash your hands, carry sanitizer with you, and obviously obey the track and trace, because you can't go into a bar unless you give them your contacts so that they can contact you in case someone else has been infected in that bar.
Yeah, hopefully they will not use it for marketing purposes after COVID.
You're always the realist, always the realist.
Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that there are so many things here, like quarantines are going to be in place in the UK for a while. There are discussions about turning the 14 days quarantine into 7 days and then having everyone just do a test at the 7th day. If that test comes back negative, then you can go back to your normal life. So this will be amazing to have implemented by the time the students need to actually go into the UK.
Absolutely.
And even if not, universities are all trying to get accommodation for you to be able to quarantine in for free during the 2 weeks. They have people that can bring you food in. The student ambassadors, all the staff at universities are working very hard to make sure that accommodations are prepared for students to be able to quarantine in them. So if you're staying at a university accommodation, I'm sure you're going to be able to quarantine in them. If you're staying at private accommodation, do contact us or contact your university to make sure that they have space for you to quarantine in, or if you have to make alternative plans. Yeah. Are you planning on going to the UK anytime soon, Artiom?
I'm planning to come back in September. So hopefully they will not have as bad restrictions. So
are you going to quarantine in a fancy hotel?
Yeah, because okay, students are also paying for 5-star hotels when we visit, so it's easy. You didn't know it. They told you some of the 3-stars, isn't it?
I don't know where you've been staying, but clearly you've been staying somewhere better than me. Nobody's promised me any 5-star hotels, man.
Yeah.
Is that coming out of the Lithuania budget?
Yeah, it is.
Great. I want a job with you then, okay?
No problem. But yeah, well, obviously now if there are restrictions in place, we'll all have to quarantine, and it shouldn't be a massive deal, as long as it's safe for the others as well. So yeah, hopefully we'll see how it goes. But I really want to come back, so it should be fine.
Yeah, no, me too. I really want to be there for Welcome Week. So let's see if they change the restrictions and if they change the quarantine. I think they will, but let's see anyway. And I mean, we're basically at the start of the school year, right? We're on this is the 20th of August today. In about 3 weeks, the year starts. So I'm sure that all of the universities are really working very, very hard to make sure that they have space for all of the students and to make sure that they can assist you with anything you might need as a student while you're there. Guys, if you have any questions, do let us know in the comments below so that we can help you with any questions about how the situation for EU students is going to be in the UK from now on. We have a question here from Trish asking, what are some pros for studying a master's in the UK compared to other countries? Do you want to talk about this, Artiom?
Yeah, well, first massive benefit is obviously because it's just for 1 year. So instead of having to study 2 years, as in many actually EU countries, you are doing it just in 1 year. So it's extremely time effective and also cost effective as well. Plus, especially if we speak about MBA, for example, the world's most recognizable and most prestigious MBA is in London School of Business, I think, London Business School, LBS. So this is another good thing. And also, I mean, the choices of programs are they're like the choice is massive. I mean, you can study pretty much anything at the degree level, and also, my understanding is that all masters are pretty similar as well, and some of them are actually have the integrated professional experience during after the first year. So basically, in the second year, you have to go to work for 1 year in the industry, and some universities like NTU, they help you to find the placement for this year, and basically you work, and only after you get the certificate. So in this case, you have like a diploma in, like a master's diploma in investments, and plus you also have a 1 year experience in investment. So this is a great thing. Obviously, UK universities are like prestigious, very famous around the world, yeah, I mean, especially if you have studied a bachelor's degree somewhere outside of the UK, it's a pretty great thing for you to to come to the UK to study for a year. Many universities, they offer scholarships, which covers very often even 100% of the tuition fees. And I mean, for EU students who still want to apply, there are options to get student financing for this year for a master's as well. So yeah, I would say these are the main benefits of the UK
exactly.
education.
And at the same time, if you're already living in the UK and you have pre-settled status, you'll be able to get home fees even after 2021. So this is quite a good advantage. For example, if you're now midway through your undergraduate and you're doing your pre-settled status, be aware that you are able to get home fees after you get your pre-settled status, even if that's not available for EU students anymore. So it's quite a good advantage. At the same time, I think that some of the pros, and I'm going to be really controversial here because I'm dying with heat in Portugal at the moment. It's like a really big pro in the UK is the fact that the summer is actually much milder than in other European countries, which is quite good because at the moment it's like 30 degrees here. I am dying. This is good to live in for like a week, but after that it gets too much. Guys, don't forget.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's one of those benefits of the English weather. Actually, sometimes it's not as bad as people think. Obviously, now it's maybe it could be raining, but still it's not as hot as you said it would be like in Spain or in Portugal or like I don't know.
Exactly. And then I think that the fact that the degrees are internationally recognized, the fact that you'll be studying in a worldwide language, basically, because the UK has English, it's an English country, so you'll be able to learn English at a fluent level, if not even a native level, in 1 year while you're studying your master's. So obviously you need to have English before you come in, but it's one of the things that I've noticed the most when I got my undergraduate degree was that my applied English had nothing to do with the English that I was taught in school. So definitely, if you're fluent in English or if you have a good level of English, but you want to develop it further, definitely come to the UK to study because it will help you so much in your English. And then it's definitely the fact that even outside of the country, the employers are going to be so impressed that you went to the UK to study for a year, to study your master's. It's a really big show of resilience, and it's a really big show of determination that you wanted to study abroad, and all of the soft skills that you learn with that, because you learn so much work ethic here. You learn how to be an actual worker or an actual citizen while being in a different country. So I feel like there are so many advantages. So if you're still thinking about studying in the UK now on the 20th of August and you want to jump there in like September, October, or if you're thinking about January 2021, definitely send us your details through okstudent.co.uk/form, or send us an email at info@okstudent.co.uk So we can help you with your application. We can help you find the perfect university with the perfect course for you.
Yeah, this is actually something which I think we should also mention, that for those you guys who have not yet applied to the
I really thought you froze there for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, and who haven't yet applied to the university, that there will be intakes in January to some of the courses. And actually those who will start their studies in January 2021 will actually still be able to apply for a student finance before that. So this is also a good option for some people who may change their mind for some reason and decide to go in January instead of now.
Exactly, and especially because many universities are increasing their January intake in response to COVID-19, because they're aware there's a lot of uncertainty in the air and it might not be that easy to make the decision to come to the UK right now. So definitely take a look at the January courses and contact us so we can help you do your application for January 2021. Artiom, do we have anything else to say, or have we covered basically everything?
Yeah, we covered the whole Brexit from start to finish.
It took them 3 years. It only took us 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't take me personally, guys. I know I'm making jokes, but this is a serious topic.
Yeah, it is. Well, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say, to be honest with you. We spoke pretty much about everything we wanted to today, so.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched us. Thank you so much, Michaela, for being here with us. I really want to do a live with you. So let's put it on the calendar. Let's book it so we can have a chat here on YouTube and Facebook about how University of Derby is reacting to this, how all of this is happening within universities, get a sneak peek at the backstage of one of the UK's universities. Thanks again to everyone who's watched us. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Medium. We're everywhere, guys. So definitely do give us a follow and a subscribe so you can get your notification when we're live or when we post a new video. We're also looking for creators on video, copy, and art. So if you want to work with us, definitely give us a shout through info@okstudent.co.uk. We want to hear from you and we want to showcase your art. So definitely do let us know. Artiom, thank you to you, because you did a great job talking to me about all of the EU students and the issues that we're going to face now and what we can look forward to this upcoming year.
Thank you, Mariana, as well. It was a pleasure, as usual.
Awesome. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you, guys.